So let's just settle into our meditation posture. So I'll just run through that quickly. Just check your legs. If you're sitting on a chair, feet flat on the ground in a parallel position. If you're sitting on a couch or a cushion or on a chair cross-legged, you can maybe have your coccyx slightly raised. This helps to keep the spine straight. Hands in the meditation mudra, just comfortably in your lap. You can just imagine your spine lengthening. So perhaps you have a string of pearls made of light extending from your coccyx all the way up through the crown of your head. And you can imagine that there's perhaps somebody very gently lengthening these pearls of light. And the string that joins the pearls together also made of light. So just create some space in those vertebrae, in the discs. Head slightly tipped forward. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Relax your jaw. Eyes down. Whether your eyes are open or closed, just looking in a space about 2 inches ahead of you on the floor. And just go to the crown of our head and just relax the crown, your scalp. And just go down, relax your face, starting with the forehead. Relax your temples, your ears, your cheeks, your nose, your mouth. Relax the back of your head and your shoulders, your chest. Relax your belly. Relax your arms, legs, hands, feet. And as much as you can, just relax your back. And just check that you haven't slumped. Keep the body nice and straight. Shoulders over your hips. And the head slightly tipped forward. If your head is too far back, it creates agitation. If your head is too far forward, you'll feel kind of dull and want to go to sleep. So just a fairly sort of central, balanced position. And bring your attention to your breath. Just notice the cool air coming in through the nostrils and the sensation of the warm air as it flows out. You can let all the busyness of today just fall away as we turn ourselves inward for this practice of Vajrasattva. And we think I'm going to do this practice to purify my negative karma, this continual process, so I can move forward, get rid of all the obstacles to my path, to my life, so I can be a benefit to others. So just bring the mind to the breath, just breathing in and breathing out. So we just try and remind ourselves that there is no negativity that can't be purified. So if there's anything that we're thinking about that we would like to purify, that we might specifically work on tonight, something that might have happened today, even if it's something that arose in our mind in response to something. If we created a negative action from that thought, and then we're maybe feeling bad about it, we don't beat ourselves up. Just remember this is where we develop regret. Just know that this is something that we can work on, and just encourage ourselves. It's a gradual process. It takes time. We have to go one baby step at a time. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we have done to harm any living being today, last week, or something we can't remember. We can just think of specific things that we've done, maybe with our body and our speech, and then just generally. And then think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, any vows I have broken. So if we have Pratamoksha, Bodhisattva and Tantric vows, and the Sangha, we have monks and nuns vows. Just regret anything that we've maybe let slip or broken. We regret any anger or attachment, which are the cause of why we harm others. So we think, okay, so who do I turn to help me deal with all of this? And this is where we come to refuge. We're relying upon Guru Vajrasattva, his methods. We're not asking him to forgive us, but we want to use the methods to sort of purify negative karma. So I'm just going to try and screen share. So here we visualize Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of our head. So about 2 inches above the crown of our head. And you can imagine that if you have a teacher or a spiritual friend, this is the mind of your spiritual friend appearing in this aspect for our benefit. And so this Guru Vajrasattva is made of this blissful, radiant, white light, translucent, brilliant, blissful. You can imagine he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus, and although in this picture it's colored, his face is radiant and beautiful. He has these lotus-like eyes. These are peaceful, full of love. And he's looking at us in a wave, complete acceptance. He knows all the things that we've done. Doesn't matter. Just loves us for who we are. His mouth is red and very sweet. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms crossed at his heart, left underneath the right. The left holding a bell, which represents wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. Their being crossed represents the union of these two, symbolizing enlightenment itself. So we'll just say a brief refuge prayer. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So this is a little extra bit here, developing compassion. So we need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. So in this case, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So we think of, first of all, the people that we may have harmed recently and in the past. And then try and develop some compassion with the people who have harmed us. Because in the future, these people are going to suffer. So we don't think in our mind, oh, great, good, oh, that's fantastic, you deserve. We feel compassion for them, for the suffering that they will experience at some point. So we think we must purify for their sake. So then we come to the power of the remedy, which is the actual practice. So, all right. So the first, there's the mantra there. If you want to, you can read it. So first one, we're going to purify the body. So you imagine Guru Vajrasattva from his heart, this blissful, radiant, white nectar pours from his heart and sort of arcs around and enters us through our crown and fills our whole body with this blissful, radiant nectar. And it pours into us. And as it pours out through the lower orifices of our body, all our negativities are pushed out as this kind of thick, yucky, black smoke and disappears into space. So we just visualize this as we think of these negativities of our body, and we can think specifically in the context of the 10 non-virtues, so sexual misconduct, killing, and stealing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Petita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebe Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Petita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebe Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Petita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. And then just be delighted at all the harm that we have ever done with our body to any sentient being, completely purified, and think there's nothing else that we could do other than be of benefit to others with our body. And then the purification of the speech. So we just visualize Guru Vajrasattva very happily from his heart, again sending this blissful, radiant nectar pouring out of his heart, pouring into the crown, our crown, filling us completely. Only this time, all the negativities sort of floating to the top of this kind of nectar as it's filling us, pouring out of the top orifices of our body. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Petita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mebe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dina mebowa Sutokaya mebowa Supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa Sawasidi mebe Yatsa sawa kama sutta me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa tatakata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Nida mebowa Sutokaya mebowa Supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa Sawasidi mebe Yatsa sawa kama sutta me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa tatakata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva ahum pe. And then again, feel so completely happy that our speech is purified. And so just imagine that there's nothing that we couldn't possibly do with our speech that wouldn't be of benefit to others. So we've completely purified all that negative speech of gossiping, talking about people behind their backs, lying, speaking harsh words to people. Completely purified. And then the purification of the mind. And again, Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately from his heart sends this blissful, radiant white light. Again, arcing around, enters the crown of our head. You can just imagine filling us, and the moment it hits our heart, all the negativities of our mind completely purified. So it's just as if, as LAMA YESHE says, it's just as if when you walk into a room that's dark, you switch on a light, instantly the darkness is dispelled. So it's like that with these negativities of our mind. So if you can think with ill will, all the things we do with anger and jealousy, wishing harm, and then all our attachment, grasping, wanting, needing. And then all this kind of ignorance, not knowing, wrong ideas about things. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Nida mebowa Sutokaya mebowa Supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa Sawasidi mebe Yatsa sawa kama sutta me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa tatakata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa Sutokaya mebowa Supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa Sawasidi mebe Yatsa sawa kama sutta me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa tatakata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Nida mebowa Sutokaya mebowa Supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa Sawasidi mebe Yatsa sawa kama sutta me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagawan Sawa tatakata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva ahum pe. And again, just be delighted. All of our delusions, which are the source of our own suffering, are the cause, and the cause for why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. All gone. Just think there's no space in our heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now we imagine we're going to purify even the subtle imprints of all our negative actions. So if we can, if it's not too complicated, just try visualizing the light coming down, the light going up. Sorry, the nectar going down, the nectar going up, and the light coming and purifying the mind. And it happens all at the same time as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatakata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Now feel we are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in our mind stream. And just even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. And now the fourth of the four opponent powers is the power of resolve. And this is a very, very important part of the practice, our determination to try to change our negative habits. And we all know what they are. So we can just maybe choose something to do between today and our practice tomorrow. Whether it be our speech or biting our nails or looking at too much television, eating too much chocolate, drinking too much coffee, whatever our thing is, give ourselves a reasonable timeline. I will not do this thing for 5 minutes or 1 minute, or I will not talk about so-and-so between 10 o'clock tonight and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning because I'm going to be asleep. So make it doable. And so then we can make a vow to ourselves in generally to avoid other negative actions. And in a way, what this is doing is it just kind of brings to our mind a sort of a kind of awareness so that we're not just blindly going around following our habits and harming others with them. And this determination gives us the strength to change. So just to conclude, Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us. So wanting to merge with our mind, he melts into white light and absorbs into us through the crown of our head. And just think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my body, speech and mind are all one. And LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. So next, as Rinpoche recommends, we meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. There is no negative karma created. So just for a moment, just reflect on this idea that all phenomena is empty of inherent existence, not existing from their own side. We can also think things do not always appear to us the way that they really are. Sometimes our perspective clouds reality. So next we dedicate the merit, all the positive energy we've created by doing this purification to all living beings. And we think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. So we'll just do the 4 immeasurable thoughts. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the closeness of attachment and the distance of hatred. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable loving kindness. How wonderful will it would be if all sentient beings were to achieve Buddhahood. May they achieve Buddhahood. I myself will cause them to achieve Buddhahood. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable compassion. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Immeasurable joyfulness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. And then we'll just do, as a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may bodhicitta, from which the happiness of all sentient beings comes, be generated in the minds of self and others, other sentient beings without delay, even for 1 second, and that which has been generated, may it increase. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And Lama Uso. Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. Okay, everyone. So now we can go to bed with a happy mind, knowing that we're completely pure, at least for another few hours.